Hello, Ivan.
Hello.
Right,
Hi,
thank you.
everyone.
Right, so let me just adjust this a little bit. There we go. Right, everyone ready? We all on red. Fantastic. I think we're ready here online. Everybody also good to go? Right.
Yeah.
So I'm handing this over to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. First of all, I will start to share my screen. Yeah. So, hi, everyone. My name is Ivan Novoselov. I am the project manager of Win-Win Digih Ukraine, and I am the leader of Test Before Invest package. So, today we will be talking about the digital competencies for public sector organization, and I cannot start with the introduction of our YEDIH, what we do in Ukraine. What is interesting and unlike the most about European Digital Innovation Hub, about Win2Win, that is we combine the academia and combine the business, the accelerations, the accelerators and the state together to bring value to SMEs, to startups, and to the public sector in Ukraine. But because academia has a strong relationship with the public sector here inside of Ukraine, and the side of the state and the startup ecosystem, they had the strong connection to SME and the startup. So in our UTIF, we're working in this kind of sector. There is public administration as the key sector as well. And we work with this technology. I will not stop and tell and list every technology that we're working on. But we are working within the northern region of Ukraine. We try to help the SMEs in the public sector to be more digitalized and to help them to test the technologies and to teach them the digital competencies as well. So, and to jump right into the topic of our learning nuggets about the digital competencies for the public sector, that's about not just to give the opportunity, give the skills the public sector to understand how to use the digital technology, how to use, I don't know, the Excel or something. It's about to empower them the skills that not connect this to technical one, to bring the value with the software, to bring the value with the digital technology. So when we speak with our public sector here in Ukraine, we always tell them that digital transformation, that what we do, it's not just digitalization. It's not just the use of one digital tool, I don't know, the Google Drive, the Microsoft, Excel, etc. It's not just using one tool to be more optimized or be more effective. It's reinventing and making the strategic shift in your business model and understanding the maturity assessment, the needs, the values that you want to bring in with the digital technology, and how to use it properly in a more effective way. So if you're talking about the digital technologies, the digital competencies, there is the one of the most famous workflow and the framework that we have here in Ukraine and Europe as well. That's the digital competencies framework for citizens, DigiCom. And as you can see on the slide, digital competencies is not just, as I said, it's not just about how to use the technology. It's not just about how to use the Excel or some different technology, how to install Zoom, how to connect to Zoom or something. It beyonds more widely with the understanding about data, understanding about the open data, the communication and collaboration, the digital content creation, the safety and the problem solving. That's what I said before, that you need to understand, and the public sector need to understand how they can bring value to the organization and to the society as well, to the citizens, with the usage of different kind of digital technologies. And beside this framework, there is a lot more. So there is a lot more framework about digital competences, not just for digital governance and for all individuals, but and they actually divide it into two like wide areas. That's about the technical skills and non-technical skills. And what we did inside of European Win2ED, we just combine all these metrics and try to understand what is the key competences that you have to maintain to become more digitalized in public sector. So this is 9 of them. That's the first one. It's the data literacy management, and not just about how to use data, but it's more important in the public sector how to use open data and how to evaluate the data, how to use this data, not just to understand where you can find it. The communication is collaboration. That's about how you communicate inside of digital area, inside of digital technologies, and what is more important, how you can explain the complex digital problems, the complex technical problems to non-technical audience. So this is important to understand how to bring the value and bring the proper information to technical and non-technical audience. The digital safety, security, and ethics, that's about how you use your data safely, because the open data that is connected to the public sector, that's the sensitive data, that is the important data, because it connects to the government's strategic documents and so on and so forth. So you need to understand how to use the digital technology in the safe way, not just to raise the data on the, or something else. The problem solving and innovation, that's about how to understand when you can use the digital technology to solve particular problems or maybe some wide problems, because this is important with the thing that I told you before about the understanding how to bring value to the organization, how to get all of these digital technologies and digital tools together to solve the problem that currently occur. And the next one is the understanding digital transformation and emerging technologies. It's to be always on track and to check all the tendencies, to understand what you can use now, what you should be prepared for the next one. It is the quote, I just don't remember from who it was, but it was told that you have to not to be prepared and not to be ready what is currently occur in the digital era, but you have to be prepared what it will be in the year, in 5, in 10 years. So you need to think strategically nowadays with the user technology as well. User-centered design and needs assessment, because the digital technology is not just to understand, okay, we have to use this or that. We need to understand the needs assessment, and what every European Digital Innovation Hub does, it's the digital maturity assessment to understand the needs of the organization, the needs to individual user of technology inside the public sector. The strategic thinking and digital governance, it have to not just to use some technologies, but have to implement it in your operational day, into your strategic documents, and have to rethink your governance inside of the country, city, or something with the digital technologies. And I will give you some examples that what is done in Ukraine, and what we do at the Win2ED inside of Ukraine to keep this, maintaining this competencies as well. So digital content and service development and implementation, it's have to create some kind of digital content and understanding everything that's around it, the licensing, the IP, and so on and so forth. And the last one is organizational change management. It's to understand and to keep focusing on how your management and how your organization will change after you implementing some digital technology. So you need to think in the both way, have to change your management in terms of to implement some digital technology, and what will be with the organization after you're getting some technology. And I leave the right side of the slide blank on purpose, because I wanted to paste into the 10 fastest growing skills that was proposed by the World Economic Forum just a few months ago. And as you can see, the top 3 of them is the technical skill that is connected to digital technology. That's AI and big data, networks, and cybersecurity, and the technological literacy. So not just with the public sector, but overall with the workforce, it's very important and essential to understand this type of technology and to maintain these skills, to be on track and to be ready for different challenges and for different risks. And I want to leave you with some takeaways because of the learning nuggets. It's the AI fluency framework. That's the framework. If we're talking about the AI, that's the framework that was proposed by the Anthropic. That's the simple framework how you can implement the AI technology inside the public sector as well. You need to think about just 4 words. You need to think about them to understand how you can implement the technology inside of your organization. So you need to understand first of all, the delegation, to understand where you can put AI. So if you are the manager in the public sector, you can just point out in the map, the customer journey map and the task journey of your users and your employees, to understand what tasks do they do, what the process are around this task, and to understand how you can implement AI in each of these tasks or each of this section of this process. The next one is the description. It's how to work with AI. There is a lot of different frameworks and concepts how you can work with AI, how to get the most excellent job from AI to your work. What is the next important in the discernment and to understand where that's where your expertise as the manager of public sector or the employee is to put your expertise to understand, to evaluate how AI works and how it actually helps your organization to become more effective in terms of implementing digital technologies. The last one is the diligence, is taking responsibility for what we do with AI and how we do it. So you need to understand that every ethic moment that it can occur around the AI to understand how you should implement it safely. That's one of the digital competence that I mentioned before. It's about understanding how you use it safety within your organization or around your organization. And I want to speak a little bit about how Ukraine is dealing with these digital competencies for public sector. It can be very useful for other countries as well, because we have a really robust digital system inside of Ukraine with the help of Ministry of Digital Transformation. So we have the resource that is called Digital Community Portal. So we have inside of Ukraine communities, it's like the cities, but in a small administrative way. So the Ministry of Digital Transformation started the digital maturity assessment of each and every community that we have in Ukraine. And one of the pillars of this digital maturity assessment is the digital literacy of every who works and lives inside of community. So we have this interactive map to understand what region is more robust in terms of digital literacy and digital skills and what is less, to understand how we can move in terms of improving and increasing the numbers that we have. So this is the very useful portal that we have, ramada.gov.ua. You can check it by yourself to understand how it works, and it is very useful for every our community because they have around this digital maturity assessment, they establish their KPIs to understand how they should work and how they should help themselves. And with the help of this resource and with the help of European Digital Innovation Hub, we as the Win2ED work with communities closely to understand how we can implement our different resources and our force to help them to keep on track with these numbers as well. And what is very useful for our public sector in terms of AI, our Ministry of Digital Transformation and our organization created the AI guidelines for the public sector in Ukraine. This is the AI guidelines that help to understand what is the AI, how you can use it, and a lot of practical use case inside of Ukraine, not just to mention the European one, but inside of Ukraine have different ministries, have different departments using AI to help them be more effective and be on the track with the technologies, and have to maintain the transparent process because it, as I mentioned, in terms of open data and the data that is collected inside the public organization, that is very important to understand the safety around it and how you should maintain and keep the safety on the place. So this guide also empowers the public sector with the tools how you should be safe inside of AI and using LLMs and so on. So this is how Ukraine helps public sector to be on track with digital technology and digital literacy. Of course, there is a lot of not problems, but there's a lot of challenges despite the war and so on. And we try as the EDIC to help the public sector as well, to not just rely on digital transformation ministry. And what we do, this just a small list of services that we provide to our public sectors, how we help them with the digital literacy and digital technologies. So we do a lot of trainings with them to show them how to use AI, how to use any other digital technologies. And what we do more with them, we try to estimate and understand what is the proper tool for them to use, because we have a lot of challenges inside of different communities. For instance, we have the challenge to keep the safe documents inside of organization, not to give it to, I don't know, to Google Drive or to Microsoft Teams or something, but to keep maintaining the safe documents inside of organization because they do not want to leak the information. And we as the Win2ED help them to understand what is the proper tool to use. and how we can help them to implement this tool inside of their organization. So just to sum up about the takeaways that you can take with yourself after leaving the session is the first of all, that is about the AI framework that I show. That is the simple framework and the simple journey that you can walk through inside of your organization or public sector, if you're the manager, if you're the employee, to understand in what point of work you can implement artificial intelligence and how it can make you more effective in terms of giving the citizens the right services. And the next one is the example of Ukraine, what we do in terms of understanding the digital maturity of every in each community and to keep them on track with digital literacy as well. So let's keep in touch. That's the contact information of our European Digital Innovation Hub. We're really open to the partnership and the projects. So let's keep in touch with that. Thank you so much. I'm open to hear your questions and to answer it.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And now let's see if anybody has any questions, whether from online or here in the audience. Yeah, then that's it. Thank you. Will we be able to have your access to your presentation later on?
Yeah, sure.
All right, great.
I will
Thank
send
you.
it. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you
Thank you.
for the invitation. Bye.
Have a good day. Thank you.